I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and so. And you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called a wrestling hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that's without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound, and try to guess this week's pro question. You win a lot of cool things, and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And we are doing it a day early, but you know what? That's fine with us. Yeah, Good answer, Fro. This week on the show, we are going to preview Backlash for this Sunday. Plus, we're going to talk about the ratings that Dave Meltzer gave the greatest Royal Rumble, which, just like we talked about last week, we did not have at the time because we were literally doing last week's episode as soon as that show ended. So, we have that. Plus, we have an interesting documentary that's going to be coming out in a few weeks, and a lot more.
That reminds me, I need to see that documentary on HBO.
Oh, of Andre the Giant? Oh, that was such a good documentary.
Let's download it while I remember it.
Okay.
Let's watch that. Yeah. What was it called?
It was just called Andre the Giant.
Okay.
Pretty easy, I think.
Yeah.
So, while Fro downloads Andre the Giant, Okay, I know that's a weird saying in 2018. We got some first quarter results that WWE reported today, and normally we don't do this kind of stuff because Fro and I were not too technical into this kind of thing, but we do have some keynotes to speak of that should be brought up.
I'm not sure I care either.
I know, but there are some people who probably care about it. You never know. So let's take a look at their first quarter highlights. Revenues reached $187.7 million, which was on par with last year's first quarter. It was an increase of 5% on a comparable year-over basis. Operating income was $21.8 million. $29 million was on a comparable basis as compared to $4 million in the prior year quarter. Adjusted OIBDA2 increased 40% to $35 million, increasing 68% to $42 million on a comparable basis. The WWE Network, this part might interest you, Fro, so you might want to pay attention. Average paid subscribers increased 5% to 1.56 million paid subscribers, consistent with the company's guidance. And digital video views increased 56% to 6.7 billion, and hours consumed increased 69% to 243 million across digital and social media platforms.
Wow, that's a lot.
Also, we have selected WrestleMania highlights from business point of view, not the actual show. We already did highlights of WrestleMania, so we're not going to go through that again.
And now we're going to talk about WrestleMania again.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it again. WrestleMania broke the record for the Mercedes-Benz Superdome's highest-grossing entertainment event at $14 million at the gate, attracting 78,133 fans. WrestleMania hit a record 2.12 million global households on the WWE Network alone, making it the most watched WrestleMania in history. WWE Network subscribers viewed 25 million hours during WrestleMania week.
Holy shit.
Or 14 hours per subscriber during the week. This compares to 22.5 million hours last year. This is a 12% year-over-year increase. And finally, during WrestleMania week, 13.9 million hours were consumed on digital and social media platforms, up 27% from the prior year. April 9th, the day after WrestleMania, was WWE's most viewed day ever on YouTube with more than 50 million views.
I'm not surprised by that, to be honest, that is most viewed. I mean, we are the lucky ones that lives in a society that have the network, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, remember when we were talking about the network coming?
Yeah.
And, like, how good it sounded. I remember watching the network, WrestleMania, on the network the first year.
Mm-hmm.
Which WrestleMania was that?
I think that was 30. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching it on the network, and I was thinking, like, from that to this year, how much the network has improved in quality.
Yeah.
We are so fucking lucky that now have a place where you can watch content that is actually good.
It is. And I think another thing, because I know for me, before the network, there would be select pay-per-views that I would get every year. Obviously, it would be the big four: Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. And then when the network came in, it was like, okay, the cable bill's going to go down, and we're going to have this and that. And I think, in a way, the WWE Network, along with many other streaming services, wrestling streaming services, has been such a big deal for, reviewers on YouTube, podcasts, to the point where we can now analyze, and for some, overanalyze all these shows and give our thoughts and opinions on it. So I think it's good in a way, but it's just gotten better. It is.
That's the only thing that I would like is like, I wish, when I wish upon a star, but I wish there was a streaming service I could pay a ridiculous amount of money to, that got me like Spotify, HBO, Netflix, WWE Network in one package. That's the only thing I wish. I wish there was something like that instead of now having to go to 60 billion different sites to watch my streaming content.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to watch every thing like Netflix, HBO, the WWE Network on one place.
Do you have a Roku box? Or do you guys even sell Roku?
No?
Oh.
I have no clue what the Roku is. Well, I know what the Roku is.
Yeah, there we go. That helps me, so. But no, all in all, business seems to be doing good for WWE after this first quarter. Everything's going up, and I think them getting the numbers both financially and then viewing wise and subscriber wise has really helped WWE in this situation right now. So they're pretty good, I'd say. They're in a pretty good position right now. Let's talk about a story that we first brought up a few weeks ago on this podcast that happened during WrestleMania weekend, and we might have a conclusion to this, Fro. You remember a few weeks ago we talked about the incident between Jake the Snake Roberts and Davey Boy Smith Jr.?
Yes, I remember this. Aren't we so lucky?
Yep. Well, it seems that this whole situation has been settled. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Newsletter and many, many other things, Harry Smith and Jake Roberts have settled their differences after a phone conversation set up by Bret Hart when Hart and Roberts were at an autograph session.
Of course it's Bret Hart.
I called because I wanted to help my nephew, and, he did something really stupid. Anyway, Roberts agreed to drop all charges on Monday for an incident at WrestleCon where the two had a heated exchange of words, and Smith threw coffee at Roberts, and Roberts' daughter went after Smith, who walked away. Smith had been upset about things Roberts had said about his father on a podcast with Roddy Piper. Both privately apologized to each other over the incident, and Smith agreed to do a public apology, which he did before his IWGP Tag Team title match in Japan that took place early Sunday.
Jesus Christ.
And this is what Harry Smith wrote. Quote, I'd like to announce publicly and officially that I spoke with Jake Roberts on the phone today, and we squashed heat we have for what happened at the WrestleCon event. I apologized and said I would apologize publicly, as Jake agreed he would be dropping any charges pressed against me. I'm a man of my word, and I'd like to say sorry to any fans that I stressed with this situation also. I wish Jake all the best and glad that we squashed the heat. I actually had spoken to Roddy Piper before he passed away about the podcast Jake and he did. I'm certainly glad we worked things out, as Roddy died not too long after. I guess it's an ending, but there's part of me that thinks that's not, a real apology. That's just me. Anyway, let's talk about the greatest Royal Rumble, and more importantly, what Dave Meltzer thought of this show in particular. Because we both did our grades last week, and Meltzer did his in between, so I'm going to read the match, and I'll tell you how many, or what his rating is, and we'll talk about if we disagree or agree with his rating.
Mm-hmm.
So, we start with the opening match, which was Triple H and John Cena. He gave that 2 3/4 stars.
A little too low.
Yeah, that's a little too low. Because we both enjoyed that opening match, so... The Cruiserweight title match, Kalisto and Cedric Alexander, he gave that 3.5 stars. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a fair grade. The Raw Tag Title match, Cesaro, Sheamus, Hardy, and Wyatt, he gave that 2 stars. Yeah, I guess.
I guess so.
Not going to really complain. Alright, then, Jinder Mahal and Jeff Hardy for the U.S. title. This might be the lowest graded match of the entire show. And it deserves the grade that it got. 0.5 star.
Yes, it does.
That was a bit hard to watch. And remember, folks, Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion.
Yeah.
SmackDown Tag Title match, Harper and Rowan against the Usos. He gave that 2 stars. That's fair.
Okay.
I could go with that.
I guess so.
Then we had the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. He gave that 3 3/4 stars.
3 and
3 3/4.
A little low.
I mean, it's almost a 4-star match. I mean, I can't really complain. Then we have the WWE title match, Styles and Nakamura, which we will talk about a little later when we preview Backlash. He gave that 3 1/4 stars.
Good.
That's a fair one.
Yep.
Alright, then we had Undertaker and Rusev. He gave that 2 stars.
I think that's a little low.
I'd maybe make it 2.5 myself.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
Then we had the steel cage match for the Universal title, Lesnar and Reigns. He gave that 1 star.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1 star.
No. That was much better than 1 star.
Oh, man. Alright. And then the final match...
You don't think that was much better than 1 star?
If I could defend Mr. Meltzer, I would say the ending probably was a good reason why it got 1 star. No, I thought it deserves a little more. Maybe 2.
Yeah.
But... And then the final match, the 50-man Royal Rumble match, he gave it 3 1/4 stars.
Okay.
So, all in all, I think the rating was pretty fair. I think it was, for the most part, I think it was good. I think that was a good, fair rating. You know, nothing too ridiculous. It was just good. As far as the subscribers of the newsletter go, however many there, did, 54% gave this show a thumbs down.
Ooh.
25% gave it a thumbs in the middle, and 20% gave this show a thumbs up.
Wow. I think they are more critic than I was.
Now I want to ask you this, because
I would thumbs up this pay-per-view, of course.
Now I want to ask this, and I think this is a fair question. What I'm about to ask. Do you think part of the reason the show got a somewhat negative reaction, because there are some groups that I've seen that did not like the show, which they're entitled to. Do you think it's because of the whole thing with women, and they couldn't allow the female wrestlers there, and the clothing and all? Do you think that may have played any role in that?
No, I sadly think most wrestling fans are man-chauvinistic pigs, sadly. So I don't think that comes into it.
'Cause, to be fair, I know for me, I was going into that show, I mean, I don't like the way that women are treated in Saudi Arabia. But this was more of Saudi Arabia doing this than WWE was.
Right.
And if you focus more on the matches than the reason they are there, then I think it was an enjoyable show, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm against abusing women, and I think women have the right as much to do anything and anywhere that a man does. I just think maybe I don't know, maybe some were holding a big, bit of hostility against the country of Saudi Arabia. I know it was a propaganda thing, don't get me wrong, but...
Oh yeah, definitely.
But... It's like the show that, when you did the trivia a while back, the one in North Korea. That was a total propaganda show.
Oh, definitely.
Total. And now they're having quote-unquote good relations with South Korea, so...
Yeah.
Who knows?
Talking about propaganda. Oh. That is such a bullshit thing.
I know, it is, but... When money is involved, money is involved. Alright, we gotta send a big congratulations to Glenn Jacobs.
Why?
Some of you might know him as Kane.
Yes.
Because he has...
he won?
He officially won the Republican endorsement for the mayoral primary of Knox County in Tennessee.
Cool.
So he won so he will be the Republican candidate going into the official election this August. And this is how close it was, Fro, because they had to wait a few days to officially announce him as the winner. He won by 17 votes. 17 votes was the difference.
That's not many votes. Votes. That's hard to say. Votes.
And I have the stat here. He got 14,633 votes, which garners to 36.09% of the vote.
Wow.
So be ready, folks. Who knows? Maybe in 4 years or 8 years, we'll see Kane running for president of the United States of America.
Oh, wouldn't we be lucky?
Hey, you never know. You never know. Weirder shit has happened.
Oh,
I mean, we're living it right now, to be honest, but...
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I know you're into books. I know you're into books. You do a segment on Another Digital Citizen where you and Luke talk about books to recommend to people.
We have done that, yeah.
Well, there's going to be a new wrestling autobiography that's going to be coming out next summer. Not this summer, next summer. Mm-hmm. And it is the autobiography of Hornswoggle.
Yes.
The title of the story, or the title of the book, is called Life is Short and So Am I.
Aww. Aww.
Let me read the quick description. People born with achondroplasia, a condition causing disproportionate dwarfism, don't tend to end up as champions in the world of wrestling. In fact, only one man has ever achieved this, becoming the World Wrestling Entertainment Cruiserweight Champion at the age of 21 and the height of 4'5". Wisconsin-born Dylan Postal and worked and wrestled as Hornswoggle for the world leaders in sports entertainment. You guys know how I feel about that term. For 10 years, becoming the longest tenured and unquestionably best known little person performer in WWE history. In that time, he also appeared in Hollywood movies, bought his own wrestling promotion, and, most importantly, became a dad. The book is scheduled for a summer 2019 release by ECW Press and will see Postal collaborate with co-writers Ross Owen Williams and Ian Douglas. So, let me ask you right away, Fro, would you buy the autobiography of Hornswoggle?
No, but that's mostly because I'm afraid of the small writing.
Oh, jeez.
No. You know what? I don't really like wrestling that much. That I would read a book about Hornswoggle.
Okay. All right. I was just, I think when we get closer next year, I'll figure out if I want to get that book or not. So, have to wait and see.
If you look in I was looking at my bookcase. Like, my bookcase is a lot of movie books. I have a lot of movie books. Of course, I have an ABBA book, one of the best books there is, of course. I have some other movie books. I have some books about religion, because I really think religion is a fun topic. I have a lot of Bibles. The only wrestling book I have is actually a gift I got from Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
I have the top 10 WWE book of top 10.
Okay.
That I use every week on Another Digital Citizen, where she has her own segment. So, yeah.
All right. Very good. And yes, I did learn last week while watching Greatest Royal Rumble, Fro is an ABBA fan, so.
Yes.
And I am comfortable with that, so. All right. Fro, this next story that I want to talk about about a week or two ago had you sad, had you crying. But this week, I'm here to report that you might not be crying for too much longer.
Oh, John Cena and Bella is back together?
Well, hold on. What I'm about to read to everyone could possibly be a spoiler for the upcoming season of Total Bellas.
Oh, I am so... I spoil it.
All right. So, everyone who doesn't want to be spoiled, fast forward right now. All right. So, this came from ringsidenews.com by way of PW Insider. John Cena and Nikki Bella called it quits on their relationship after being together for more than half a decade. But since everything has the possibility of being done for a multitude of reasons, maybe John and Nikki's breakup wasn't totally legit. Mike Johnson discussed the possibility of the entire John Cena and Nikki Bella breakup being all for show and a ploy for more attention ahead of negotiations for a new television deal on PW Insider Elite's audio show. Apparently, Johnson has heard some people who mutter about the idea it could all be a work. And I will read some of what Mike Johnson said. Speaking of Cena, I want to go back to the Backlash stuff. Backlash. Oh yeah, Backlash. I have heard some rumblings that your theory may be correct about this entire situation being a work. I don't have enough to report it or anything, but there have definitely been some people who mutter, who have been whispering similar concerns. So you might be onto something there. So I'm just telling you that if it comes out that this was a work, I am giving you credit now that you were the first one to call it. They were together before the whole Total Divas began, and then they had to ask John if he would do the show. He always did it because he said it was good for her and good for the company. But announcing that they had broken up just a few weeks before Total Bella's debuts, certainly that's a lot of free publicity leading into the new season. With WWE in the middle of doing television negotiations, so let's show NBC Universal how worthwhile our reality show are for them, and their ratings have been down compared to previous seasons. This is a very interesting idea because they could always get back together later on and nobody would know they never broke up in the first place. Now, I want to present to you, Fro,
Yes.
Exhibit B as to why this could possibly be all a work.
I really hope it's a work. I really hope it's a work.
Okay, are you ready for my Exhibit B?
Yes.
Okay, according to the same group, Ringside News, they are getting... Oh, this is too good. They are getting John Cena and Nikki Bella together to record them breaking up on Total Bellas.
Oh, I really hope that's true. I really hope that's true.
So, I think that, because, okay, when I first read that, I was like, wait a minute. You're going to record the breakup when
it's already happened.
Mm-hmm. So I say, Mr. Fro, that this breakup might not be real.
No.
Because but let's be real honest. Because I'm not much of a reality TV show guy as you are.
Yes, I'm the reality show expert on this podcast.
He really is. You don't go when you're, you don't ask two of your quote-unquote main characters of a reality show to get back together to record them breaking up.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling is fake. And do you know what's even more fake?
Reality TV.
Reality TV. It is the fakest shit you can ever watch.
Oh my goodness. But you know what?
You know it's money.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
Yep. But you know what, though? I will say this. I think wrestling's more real than reality TV.
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay. Yep. All right. I want to bring this story up. This is a bit different because we're going to talk about Combat Zone Wrestling because in CZW.
Oh.
Because in a little over a month,
I was like, oh, that's their real name, isn't it?
That is their real name. Because in a little over a month, they will have their annual Tournament of Death, which is a hardcore tournament with a lot of plunder and all that. We've had this discussion before.
A lot of shit.
A lot of crazy things get brought. I'll just say that. Because I remember. I think it was last year I watched it for the first time, and it's not my cup of tea. Yeah.
It's the 80s again.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to be hardcore. I hate when wrestling does that.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is the location of the Tournament of Death has been changed.
Okay.
It was originally going to be in Delaware, and what's cool about that, about when they had the tournament in Delaware for a long time, the tournament was held at the parents of the owner's house. Like, they have this big plot of land, and for so many years his parents are like, okay, you can have the Tournament of Death in our backyard, basically. And there's no Wi-Fi connection. It's just this big plot of land, and I actually saw the documentary of how they get it prepared. It's quite interesting. I would recommend at least the documentary portion.
So they moved it from the backyard to your bedroom?
No, my bedroom is not that big. Anyway, it's going from Delaware to New Jersey due to logistical issues regarding getting the proper permits in place in time. And this is from Mike Johnson, since they were not able to lock them in time, they could not lock in EMTs for the event, and by the time they were able to, EMTs were not available on the day of the show. Since they could not legally run Delaware without EMTs, the decision was made to move to the new location, which is the Tansboro Deck Hockey in Berlin, New Jersey, which is an outdoor hockey venue. The company has met with the local township and fire marshals last month, and we are told there will be no limitations on what the company can do in comparison with previous Tournament of Death events. The one thing that may be an issue is parking. Because as we know, parking can be a pain in the ass.
It can.
Well, I thought that was a bit interesting, because that tournament has been in that one spot forever, as long as I could remember. And for them to move it is very interesting, so. Okay, I want to talk about a trailer for a documentary that I recommend and I suggest when it comes out, everybody watches this. On May 25th, Showtime, which for our foreign listeners is like HBO, they are going to release a documentary on Mauro Ranallo.
Oh, that I really, really want to watch.
And the title of the documentary is called Bipolar Rock and Roller.
Yeah, I know he's bipolar.
Yeah.
Yeah, same disease as me. That's one of the reasons I want to see it.
I've seen this trailer 2 or 3 times. And I am looking forward to this. This is going...
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, it came up this week.
Cool.
So, the movie, the documentary, will premiere on Showtime on May 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, Fro, you'll be in bed by the time it premieres. So that's 3 weeks from tomorrow that this documentary on Mauro Ranallo will come out, and it's going to basically be about his life and his struggles with bipolar disorder. I'm
definitely going to watch it.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because, and this is just my opinion, I think Mauro Ranallo is one of the best commentators, not only in wrestling, but in...
Maybe the best.
Well, today he might be, yeah. But also in all of sports. There are some people that, when I hear them, I cannot stand them. And then there are some, when I hear them, I could listen to them all day long. Mauro Ranallo is one of those guys. And I hope this documentary is as good as the Andre the Giant one. Because that, when you watch it, that was a really good documentary. So
it's actually just downloaded.
Oh, very good.
Yes. I have a good internet connection. I'm pretty lucky that way.
Yeah, especially in Norway.
Yeah. In Norway? Do you know, I am not kidding you. We have the best internet after South Korea or something.
After South Korea?
I'm not sure. I read something that we have a really good internet connection, according to like polls and stuff that's done. We have better internet connection in Norway than in the United States.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also are one of the richest countries in the world, so...
Okay, just keep rubbing it in.
And we have smarter politicians than you.
Yeah,
healthcare.
At least none of your big celebrities thinks that slavery was an option for those that were in slavery. What a dipshit. Anyway, speaking of better things, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla has announced the dates and the location for this year's Battle of Los Angeles tournament. For those of you who don't know what the Battle of Los Angeles is, first off, shame on you not knowing your history. It is arguably the biggest independent wrestling tournament in not only in the United States, but I'd say in the entire world of professional wrestling. It is a 3-day event featuring 24 wrestlers competing in a 3-day tournament. Now, for the last several years, the tournament has been held on Labor Day weekend, which would be the end of summer. Well, the unofficial end of summer. However, the dates have been announced, and it will not be on Labor Day weekend this year. It will be held on September 14th, 15th, and 16th, and will be taking place at the Globe Theater, not in England, in Los Angeles, California. There's a speculation that one reason why this tournament has been pushed back is because of the Bullet Club's All-In show, which will be held on September 1st during Labor Day weekend, and that is in Chicago, Illinois. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's usually a very good tournament every year. They always get the best competitors. They have some of the best matches. Last year's winner was Ricochet, and he's now in WWE and NXT. So, it's a big tournament. Like, if you win that tournament, good things will happen for your career. So, and I can do an article another day on the history of that, because it is true. If you win that tournament, there's few tournaments that if you win it, it's big for your career. This is one of them.
So the top 3 countries that has the fastest internet speed in the world is South Korea on first. Second place is Sweden, and third place is Norway.
I'm just trying to think how South Korea has better internet than a lot of European countries and the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure that out. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't like that Sweden beats us because
it's like, how dare you?
How dare you, Sweden?
Yes, how dare you, Sweden? Oh, man. Where was the U.S.? Do you know what ranking they had? Just out of curiosity.
Hold on. I will find out.
Okay.
Talk about.
All right. While Fro figures out what place the U.S. is in, tomorrow, New Japan, they have a big time main event, and it could be historic because it is Kazuchika Okada against Hiroshi Tanahashi. These guys have fought before, and they've put on some very good matches. The reason this could be historic is if Okada wins or goes to the 60-minute time limit, it will be his 12th successful title defense as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, thus setting a new record for New Japan Pro Wrestling. The record, which he is tied for right now, is 11, held by the challenger, Hiroshi Tanahashi. So, I will ask you, Fro, do you think Okada breaks the record tomorrow?
Yes.
He does.
I do.
All right. Let me ask you another question. Okay, let's say he does break it. He gets to 12. Mm-hmm. How many more title defenses does he make before he loses?
I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
By the way, according to my sources, they are 10th.
Okay, I can do top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10's doable.
You are 10th. Yeah. You're 10th fastest internet connection.
All right.
In the world.
I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an easygoing American, for those that don't know. Very easygoing. To answer the question that I had asked you, I do think he will break the record. I think he's going to break the record. However, I think he loses on his next title defense.
Yeah, I said 1 or 2.
Yeah. Because The next time he would be able to defend it, if he makes it past tomorrow, would be June the 9th at Dominion, which is where he won the title 2 years ago. So he's going on almost 2 years as champion. So
yeah.
And then I believe also tomorrow during that New Japan show, they will announce the participants for the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. So we'll probably talk about who is in that tournament as well next week. All right, it is prediction time here for that wrestling show.
And are you ready to hear what prizes you can win if I'm wrong?
All right.
Because I am starting a new thing with this pay-per-view from now on and for 1 year. Listeners, you have to send in predictions before the pay-per-view. And if you have more right than me, you will get a prize.
Oh, okay. And to be fair, before we do this, you can send your predictions to me because for some reason we cannot find Fro on Facebook. So
because Fro isn't on Facebook.
Well, except when I tell you it's time that I'm on.
I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Messenger.
Oh yeah, you are on Messenger. Okay.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is send me your picks, and I'll put this in our Facebook group. And I think, to be fair, to make this a fair thing, any matches that get announced after this show gets posted, or any match that is made during the pay-per-view, does not count. Does not count.
Nope.
You know, actually, real quick, before we get to the picks, it's sort of funny you're doing this, because I was sort of thinking of doing like a pool similar to this for our Facebook group.
And of course, it's small gifts. It's like maybe you will win something big sometimes, but it's small things you can win. So don't expect hundreds of dollars.
Right.
Gifts, but,
we're not that rich.
No. I have a lot of games, by the way. For example, for Windows, because I usually buy Humble Bundle every month because I think they are a good organization. But not all of those games are for Mac, so I have some free Steam games, for example, that I will give out.
Okay. So we have 8 matches in total, and it's real simple, folks. If you get more than Fro, we're not doing ties. You have to do more than Fro. More
than me.
You will win a prize from Fro. And like I said, and I'll put the instructions in, send your picks to me on our Facebook group. And
before Sunday, will we say the pre-show is the send-in point?
Yeah. Okay, we'll go the hour before the pay-per-view. That's fair.
An hour before the pay-per-view. That's fair.
That is fair. So, let's begin. We will go from the bottom all the way to the top, according to WWE.com. And I'm not participating in Fro's contest, but I am going to give my picks. So, all right. So we will start off with.
Can't win.
Right, I cannot win because I am the host of the show. So, it's like the gorilla. I am the gorilla to Fro's Bobby. I cannot win. So, although I don't remember if Bobby. Anyway, I'm getting carried off here. Let's start off with a U.S. title match: Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, this is actually the hardest maybe to predict because I don't think Matt Hardy will be champion for really long. I think he's a transition champion I think they put the title on him to get him to lose it to somebody else, to be completely honest. As it looks like right now. So I would think the odds for Randy Orton to win is pretty high, but I'm going to go with Matt Hardy just because I don't think they will lay it on Randy Orton. Either he doesn't really need it, and I don't really see a reason why WWE would give it to Randy Orton just so he has the title. He doesn't really need it.
Okay. This one is not as tough for me. There's like two.
I think this is super hard.
There's like 2 or 3 that I think could be really hard to pick. So I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy's going to keep the title.
I said Matt, didn't I?
You said Matt, but I knew you meant Jeff. I knew you meant Jeff. You know what? I'm going to write this down. So I have... okay, hold on.
I don't think Matt Hardy will win.
No, but that would be an interesting situation.
Matt Hardy winning this game, this matchup, instead of Jeff. I meant Jeff.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna say Jeff Hardy wins here too. Okay, next match is a tag team match. Braun Strowman and Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Luke had the heels winning here. I don't really know. This is also a little like up in the air.
Do you need time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to think about it.
Okay, I'll give my thoughts on this. I think this is set up to be a good storyline here for Owens and Zayn to lose and to say, oh, Kurt screwed us. Kurt doesn't like us. You know, he put us against the 2 biggest guys on the roster, which, if you think about it, they probably are the 2 biggest guys on Raw. I'm going to say, for storyline purposes, I'm going to say Strowman and Lashley.
Yeah. I was so disappointed that Strowman didn't show up with his title on Raw. Green title.
But he did come with the trophy.
Yeah, but he didn't have the green title on him.
No, he didn't.
I really like that title. But yeah, I am going to go with you, Bill.
Okay.
The only way I see them winning is pinning Lashley, because no fucking way they are going to go over Braun Strowman, because Braun Strowman is so over right now.
Oh God, yeah.
So the only reason I could see them winning is that they done something with Lashley and Braun Strowman is away for some strange reason.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to push Braun Strowman and Lashley. I don't really know why Lashley is there, to be honest. But I will go with that.
Well, you know, according to the commentating team, he has unfinished business, so... Just had to bring that up. Alright. By the way, that is the only tag team match for that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Isn't that a little weird?
That is.
Yeah.
I would... Well, you know what? To be fair, though, you did have the Raw tag titles get new champs, and then you did have the SmackDown titles get defended at Saudi Arabia, so I guess it's okay. Alright, next one. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass.
Oh, this is so hard to predict. I will tell you why.
Okay.
They done something with Daniel Bryan. They done something really clever. What they done is more or less build him up as this tremendously good wrestler, with going in at number 1 in the Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble. and building him as a character that has the ability to win over big guys. But he is also one of the problems I have with this match. This is Big Cass' return to the ring in fucking forever.
About 8, 9 months?
8, 9 months, yeah. So, are they more interested in building Daniel Bryan up as the man that wins against David against Goliath? Or are they more interested in building Big Cass as a heel? And that's why I find this matchup so interesting. And this is actually one of the matches I'm looking most forward to in the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Because I actually think Big Cass is an underrated good wrestler. And Daniel Bryan can get something out of him.
Yes.
That a lot of other wrestlers can't. So for that reason, and that reason only, I will go with Cass. I will go with Cass because it's his return match. I think the storyline would be maybe even more interesting if they let Cass win.
Mm-hmm. I look at it this way, to go a little in depth. Daniel Bryan's already a made man. He is already... I mean, the second he came back, the stock went through the roof. To use business terms, because we did talk about business earlier today. He is one of their big stars right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there are times where when you are a big star, like Daniel Bryan, there are times where you don't need to win a match, such as this.
Right.
Plus, the end result is going to be, at some point, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. That's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
We just don't know how we're going to get through that road. We don't know when it stops, but we know the road is Daniel Bryan and Miz, because that's money right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to see that match.
With Big Cass, when he became a singles competitor, when he and Enzo broke up, he got put in a bad storyline.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the injury might be a blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. Because as soon as he got injured, that storyline ended. Enzo became a heel, both in the company and in real life. And he went to the Cruiserweight division, and then we all know what happened. This is a match that Big Cass has to have to win. If they don't let him win this match, there's something wrong. Because I think WWE really likes this guy. Because he has the look, he's got the ability, he's got what they need for a typical WWE star. And for him to get a win over Daniel Bryan would be huge.
But that's also what I'm thinking. Is it too huge? Is it too big? Is it too...
If Big Cass had been an Undertaker at a WrestleMania, that would be too big. This is not that big. So, I'm going with you. I think Big Cass is going to win this one. And there may be shenanigans in it too, but I think Big Cass is going to take it.
Oh, I know what match will have shenanigans in it, and it's the main event.
Okay.
But we will talk about
We will talk about that in a little bit. Next up, SmackDown Women's title. Carmella defends against Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, this is the easiest.
Yeah.
I think Carmella is going to win.
Yeah, she just had the belt. She just won the belt. Give her a little bit of time.
Talking about shenanigans, her teaming up with those straight end team. I never remember their
Billy
name.
Kay and Payne and Royce.
Yeah.
We'll get to see them
Of
probably
course.
Sunday.
Yeah, we will see them on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going Carmella. I mean,
And Carmella is going to lose over shenanigans.
at some point. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, just not Sunday. Alright, then we have the Raw Women's title. Nia Jax defends against Alexa Bliss.
Okay, I talked a little to Luke about this. I'm probably the only one that likes Alexa Bliss promos right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking time she's on screen and give the bully thing, I laugh. I find it funny. I've heard from Luke that people don't like it. I love it. I love what she's doing right now, but she's losing.
Alright, before I put my pick in, this is what I'm going to say about the whole Alexa Bliss thing.
Mm.
There are writers who are doing this for Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Alexa doing this.
No.
Because if you remember... Okay, we shouldn't even go back that far to say, if you remember. It was like a freaking month ago. It's Alexa's the bully on Nia Jax. She's making fun of her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after she loses the title, Alexa starts the Nia's the bully. She made fun of me. So, in reality, if you're gonna be mad, don't be mad at Alexa. Be mad at the people who are writing this crap.
But I like it.
I know you like it. And Alexa's doing a good job of delivering these promos. It's just, do I really need this? After the setup we had to WrestleMania, which was a good setup.
I know.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Nia Jax keeps the title. I will agree with you on that. Then we have the Intercontinental title match, Seth Rollins against The Miz.
Yeah, this is also super easy. Seth Rollins is going to win here. I wasn't a super. I was a super fan. I mean, of their match in their biggest Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why they would put it back on The Miz again.
There's no need to.
No.
This is. I'm going to steal a gimmick from you, Fro. This is my ding, ding, ding pick of the show.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is winning this match. There's no reason why The Miz needs to win back the Intercontinental title. Plus, Rollins had an amazing match Monday night with Finn Balor, and that's probably not over yet. So I'm saying Rollins keeps the title.
Yeah.
All right, then we have AJ Styles defending the WWE title against Shinsuke Nakamura. It is now a no disqualification match.
Do you smell that?
Well, I know I passed gas before the show, but no.
It smells like a clusterfuck ending. No. Shinsuke Nakamura needs to win.
Yeah.
You talked about needing to win.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't let Shinsuke Nakamura win in a match where he has the upper hand, also over AJ Styles, I have no fucking clue what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura after this stuff.
Well,
I want there to be a heel. I want there to be chasing. I'm not tired of AJ Styles because holy fuck, he's a good wrestler. I'm not saying that at all. But please understand. WWE, that you need to do this before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go on doing this forever.
All right, so
and if you don't do it soon, you will regret it. You will regret it for so long. You need to let him win so we can start over with a good heel story in SmackDown. SmackDown needs Nakamura to win.
But who do you think will win?
Nakamura.
Alright. You know, it's funny that you mentioned Nakamura needing to win this match. Because I remember myself 6 months ago saying when he was facing Jinder Mahal for the second time for the title, he needs to beat Jinder, and if he doesn't, then WWE's wasted him. Well, we're 0 for 1 on that. Because he's not been wasted since that defeat. This is the toughest pick for me. And I'll tell you,
really?
This is the toughest pick for me, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because for the last 3+ weeks, all we've seen Shinsuke do to get to AJ Styles is give him a low blow. Give him a low blow. Which is a good story. It's a good story. It's saying Shinsuke will do whatever it takes to be the champion. But at the same time, you are put in a situation now where it's no disqualification to where AJ could do the same thing to Shinsuke. And the thing that Shinsuke has done to AJ could end up costing Shinsuke the title.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think Shinsuke Nakamura will win all by himself.
You think somebody's going to get involved?
Yeah.
All right, I'd like... Do you have a person in mind?
I kind of do, but I don't want to say it to sound incredibly stupid.
Okay.
But I see that Shinsuke Nakamura will win because of some interference, yes.
Okay. Alright, this is how I'm going to go. My heart wants Shinsuke Nakamura to win. Because he's, to me, these last several months, he's deserved it, to me.
Oh yeah.
However, I'm going to go with my mind, and this might be our only disagreement. I'm going to say AJ Styles keeps the title. Because, and again, it's nothing against AJ. He's been a hell of a champion since he won it back in November. He's made that title relevant.
But don't you think if they let Shinsuke Nakamura lose again, how many times has he gone for the title and losing it?
Well,
including against Jinder Mahal.
Okay, he lost at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Lost at Hell in a Cell. Lost at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The match at Greatest Royal Rumble went to a double countout. So this is his 5th opportunity in a year to win the WWE title.
And that's what I'm saying. If they don't let him win here, what the fuck are they going to do with him? I'm sorry. I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Right.
I'm just asking if that is their big plan. Oh.
I don't know. Alright, and then we have to finish it off. This might be the main event. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'd put the WWE title match as the main event, but that's just me. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say Joe and be finished with it. Because I think maybe they want him to lose and lose and lose and lose and lose and turn him heel.
Reigns you're talking about.
Yeah. That is definitely a possibility. Right?
Could be. Unless Vince still thinks in his mind that Roman Reigns is going to be the future of the company. Which, at this point, every fan is just saying it's not going to happen.
Right. Oh. But yeah, I'm going to go with a little gamble and actually give the audience of this podcast a little possibility to beat me and say Samoa Joe.
Okay. Alright, this is how I'm gonna go with this. Every time Samoa Joe has met Roman Reigns in a one-on-one match, Joe has won.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, Roman Reigns has to beat Samoa Joe. And this could be the last chance Reigns gets to face Samoa Joe for a while. I'm going to say Roman Reigns wins this match. It'll be a redemption for him for losing at WrestleMania and losing at Greatest Royal Rumble. So, we'll have to wait and see, folks. So,
if they're not like doing the thing where he gets so desperate, he cheats them. And that's what I'm thinking they could do, but because it looks for me that and then we could see Samoa Joe against Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that again.
Reigns and Lesnar?
Yeah. No, I mean Samoa Joe.
Oh, Samoa Joe and Lesnar. Well,
yeah.
You never know. Alright, so those are Fro's picks and mine. I will list them on our Facebook group. All you guys got to do, send me your picks. I will keep track, and if anybody beats Fro, you will win a prize. Let's do 2 quick stories to wrap it up for this week. This first one is pretty funny, I think, and this is the life of a wrestler. This could happen to any wrestler, but in this case, it happened to WWE wrestlers. So, they left Saudi Arabia on Saturday to get to New York, and then to get to New York to Montreal for Raw for Monday night, this past Monday night.
Oh, by the way, thank you, audience in Canada, for making both Raw and SmackDown watchable.
Oh, it was fun.
Oh, so much fun.
Well,
especially Raw.
There happened to be a problem with the wrestlers catching the flight from New York to Montreal.
I heard some problem.
And when I mean by a problem, I mean the flights got canceled.
Yeah, I heard that.
So, all of the WWE wrestlers, in old school fashion, drove from New York City to Montreal to get to Raw on Monday night. That is just great. I love that. It's funny, but it's also at the same time a good reminder of, hey, this is what the wrestlers back in the, the 60s and the 70s and the 80s had to do to get show to show.
Mm-hmm.
And, they didn't have the luxury of, these guaranteed flights all over the place. So, I think it was pretty cool. I think it's a cool story. It's a funny story. something that they may tell their kids for a long time. And our final story to wrap it up here for this week. This Sunday on the WWE Network is the Season 2 premiere of Camp WWE.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The show will be put up on demand every Sunday exclusively on the network.
Okay, I will download it somewhere else, yeah.
It does start this Sunday, and I have the description of the first episode of Season 2. The title of the episode is A Tale of Two Cenas. In the episode, John Cena wishes upon a star for help, while WWE superstar Big Show discovers he and Vince McMahon share an embarrassing secret.
Worst animation show ever.
No, there's been worse than that.
No,
I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's just really, really bad. Don't watch it, people.
They had there's really, to me, there's like one really good episode that they had where Triple H at first has a crush for Stephanie, and then he realizes
that's kind of funny.
He has a crush for Vince, and then they all meet at a Sizzler 2, and Vince is like, "It's a Sizzler 2! Sizzler 2!" And then he tries to buy the lamps from the Sizzler 2, and the guy's like, "No, I'm not selling it to you." Check at least that one out, folks. You can skip the others.
No.
Okay. Let's start wrapping it up for this week. Follow the show on Twitter. We're at Wrestling Show 11. Follow me on Twitter at House of Bill. And Fro, where can they follow you?
Bananis Creme on Twitter.
There you go. Join our Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. Just type that in the search bar. You are right there. And if you can't find us for some reason, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. Just click on the link in the description box, and you are right there. Don't forget to check out the website, thatwrestlingshow.com. Don't forget to visit patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts, where your support, your donations will help not only this show, but some of the other podcasts that I do as well. Also want to give a quick shout out to W2Mnet.com. You could check them out for the best coverage in sports, wrestling, entertainment, video games, and so much more. Don't forget to listen to our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast, hosted by Michael Quinn and Joe Marotta. They come out each and every Monday. And don't forget to listen to the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with longtime referee Mike Crockett, who is on an extended hiatus, and Ring of Honor superstar The Kingpin, Brian Malonis, as they discuss their adventures in the world of wrestling. Fro, what do you guys have this week on Another Digital Citizen?
On Another Digital Citizen, we talk about a really, really, really weird sect leader, cult leader. And how he is silently gazing into your eyes. And next week, a little preview for you, we are going to talk about the top 5 best and worst current WWE wrestler.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. This week on Sharks Pond, a South Park podcast, I will be reviewing the episode My Future Self and Me. And an extra preview next week is the Season 6 finale, where I will be reviewing another Christmas episode, Red Sleigh Down. Alright, next week on That Wrestling Show, Fro and I, we will review Backlash. We'll give our thoughts on it and tell you guys what some of the other people think of the show. Plus, we may or may not be celebrating Okada becoming the longest reigning IWGP champion, heavyweight champion of all time. And we'll talk about other wrestling news that pops up. So on that note, go ahead.
Podcast will be from my dad's place, because I will be at my dad's place.
Oh, cool. That should be a lot of fun next week. So everyone, have a good, safe rest of the week. Have a great weekend. If you are going to Backlash this Sunday in Newark, New Jersey, have fun, be safe, don't do anything stupid. And when you are done doing whatever it is you do, come back here next week for another episode of That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And as we always say, wrestle on! Bye.